Hello everyone, Dan Guido here. Today we're going to learn a little bit about chords and how you can play a song with them. So we're actually going to get into a little bit more music today, which will be fun. And I want to start with pointing out some of the names of the notes, because they actually have names other than A, B, C, D, E. They have names for the chords in that scale. Okay, so this is a generic for any scale. I drew it in more like the C scale because it's just easier without sharps and flats to be able to learn the basics. So the first two chords that I want to talk about is the first one here and the fifth one here. The chord from the first note and the chord from the fifth note. Now I have them written down here. The first one it's called the tonic. The fifth is called the dominant. And those are the two most common chords in any scale, in any song. And you can even make a song out of just those two chords. For example, the song Mary Had a Little Lamb is played straight from those two chords. So I'm going to play it in the key of C, which means the tonic chord would be C, the dominant chord would be G, the first and the fifth notes of that scale. So if you had that song, Mary had a little lamb, that's the tonic. Little lamb, that's the dominant. Little lamb, Mary had a little lamb, its face was white as snow. So that's all I'm doing is just C and G. The whole song, and there's other verses to it, but the whole song is played just from those two chords, the tonic and the dominant. And if you added another one in, which is also very common in almost every song, would be the fourth one. I guess every song other than Mary Had a Little Lamb. The fourth one is the subdominant. Sub means below, and it's right below the dominant. So that's where it gets its name, subdominant. So for instance, a song like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star uses the tonic, subdominant, and the dominant in that song. So if I played in the key of C, we already said that the C would be the tonic and the G would be the dominant, so the F would be the subdominant, right below the G. So Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, twinkle twinkle, there's the subdominant, the F chord. Little star, dominant, how I wonder, dominant again, R, back to the tonic. Above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky, twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. The whole song, 3 chords, simple, easy. Once you know the 3 chords for the key that you're going to play in, whatever that key is, then you can pretty much get through the whole song. And you can make it sound fine, and it can go along well. You can do the whole song with that. And if you want to add in the other chords, all it does is just make the song more full, and sometimes a little more interesting, depending. You can add some minor chords in and some other types, but the other chords would start on notes other than 1, 4, and 5. So the chord that starts on the second note is called the supertonic, because it's right above the tonic. Super means above. So supertonic is this one right there. And then the third, the chord from this note, is called the mediant. Mediant is like a synonym to the word middle, or like medium, like in the middle. So we have the tonic and you have the dominant, and the middle note is this one, or the middle chord, because we're talking about chords here from these notes. So the mediant is in between the tonic and the dominant. And then we already established the fourth and the fifth. The sixth one here is called the submediant. Not because it's below the median, but because it is in the middle of the upper tonic and the subdominant. So between this, which this is number 8, or like another set of number 1, the octave above. So between this one and the subdominant is this middle note here, the submediant. So that's where that gets its name. And then the last one is this guy, 7, the leading tone. And it's called that because it's often used to change keys, and it's the chord in a key that usually lends itself to something else afterwards. If you ended a song with the 7th chord, it kind of churns your stomach a little bit, because it's not really supposed to end on that chord. It needs to kind of be resolved with something. So that's why it's called the leading tone. It's usually connected to some other kind of chord. So you can add those chords into a song if you want to, or you can play it with just the first, 4th, and the 5th. Or again, if you play Mary Had a Little Lamb, you could just do the 1st and the 5th. I like to add in the other chords because it makes the song more full to me, and it's just more fun. So if you played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with adding in the other chords, you'd hear other chords other than the 1st, 4th, and 5th. So that just adds in other chords. The supertonic chord, mediant chord, and the submediant chord. So it just makes it more full. Okay? Hopefully that has been helpful, and I will see you next time. Thanks.